So speaking of that, Prakash, what do you then see as the new modalities, and how
Mhm.
does your architecture support that?
Yeah. Okay. So if you were to keep aside our mental model of what a school is supposed to look like, right? And the mental model of what a school looks like has to do with classrooms and teachers in the classrooms, which we can talk about because you may ask me, well, what happens to those schools? And we can talk about that as well. But if you were to keep all of that aside, and if you were to start from scratch with the research that we know today about what learning is, how children learn, what are their fundamental human needs, which goes to things like autonomy, competence, relatedness, all of those kinds of things, even called a theory called self-determination theory that my colleague Parul has publicized in recent times. But all of that research from neuroscience and choice architecture and various other disciplines, if you were to truly follow that research and design a school today, even assuming a school in the traditional sense is even needed, because in the old days you needed a school to get the fundamentals right of learning, which of course you don't need to be in a physical school for that. But even assuming that you're not going to get rid of the school as an institution, you would not design yesterday's school. You wouldn't design a school with classrooms and corridors and a library and a cafeteria and a gymnasium where students are marched from cell to cell, and we call it cells and bells. When bell goes off, right? So we would start with the idea of different ways in which children learn, which could be independent study, it could be collaboration, it could be doing something, building something, music, performance, presentations, learning from nature, learning through music, and various other ways in which we learn. And we've identified at least 20 such modalities and designed the school as a variety of such spaces where students can naturally gravitate to the space that best suits what it is that they actually want to do, as opposed to the generic spaces that we now try to, it's like the classroom is the jack of all trades, master of none. I mean, you try to do a lot of things in there, but not very successfully, right? But if we design it from the ground up, we would design it in such a way that there's a tremendous variety of spaces for large groups, small groups, individual study, and on and on. And so the curriculum can become much richer, the pedagogy can become much richer, and the teacher-student ratio can be constantly variable throughout the school day, as opposed to the 1:20 or 1:25 that we have fixed in a traditional classroom.